There's a big difference between feeling insecure once in a while and being an insecure man. Insecurity can show up in the rich, the poor, the tall, the short, the attractive, and everyone in between. The problem is, most insecure men don't even realize they're showing these behaviors, and those who do are often too ashamed to admit it. Here are the 8 signs of male insecurity that can turn women off, and how to fix them. An insecure man's jealousy often goes beyond the usual, healthy level of care. He feels threatened when his partner spends time with friends, even female ones, or meets co-workers after work. Shopping trips with girlfriends? He'll find a reason to disapprove. Being friends with other men? Absolutely forbidden. At first, this constant attention might seem flattering, even romantic, but soon, his possessiveness becomes suffocating. Every text and phone call he sends to check in feels more like an interrogation than genuine concern. Dan Bacon explained this by stating that most women are passive when it comes to dating. They wait for men to make a move or make something happen and then go along with it, if they feel attracted. If you've ever dated a guy who throws tantrums when you speak to other men, you know how exhausting this can be. In extreme cases, this jealousy can even turn dangerous. He might try to control your every move out of fear that you'll leave. It's not always that severe, but who wants to stick around and find out? A confident man doesn't need constant reassurance about his worth, but an insecure man lives on validation from others, especially his partner. He'll frequently ask questions like, "Do you love me?" He might even throw in, "Do you think I'm attractive?" This constant fishing for compliments comes from deep-seated low self-esteem. Instead of feeling secure in himself, he depends on others to make him feel like he matters. While seeking occasional affirmation is normal in a relationship, an insecure man turns it into a never-ending cycle of neediness that can become emotionally draining. Bragging might seem like confidence at first glance, but it's one of the loudest indicators of insecurity. Imagine a guy walking into a room and immediately announcing how much his car cost, the 6-figure deal he closed last week, or the high-profile people he knows. On the surface, it might look impressive, but in reality, it's a sign of someone who's unsure of their own worth. True confidence doesn't need a megaphone. A secure man lets his actions and achievements speak for themselves without constantly steering the conversation back to his accomplishments. Overcompensating looks like this: name-dropping influential people, finding ways to bring up success stories out of context, or turning casual conversations into mini resumes. For women, this isn't attractive. It's exhausting. It feels less like building a connection and more like being part of a competition. The alternative? Let your success shine naturally. If you've accomplished something meaningful, it will come up when the time is right. Or better yet, let her discover it organically. Remember, women are drawn to men who don't need to prove their worth because they already know it. So, if you catch yourself overcompensating, ask, who am I trying to impress and why? One of the clearest signs of insecurity is when a man constantly criticizes others, especially those he perceives as more successful or accomplished. Whether it's a coworker, a friend, or even a stranger, he feels the need to point out flaws to make himself look better. Why? Because in his mind, their success highlights his own perceived failures. By tearing others down, he believes he's leveling the playing field. But the truth is, this behavior only reveals how inadequate he feels about himself. If you're with someone who frequently criticizes others, pay attention. It's often a reflection of how they view themselves. And if this resonates with you, it's time to shift focus. Instead of comparing or tearing others down, work on building yourself up. True confidence isn't about making others look small. It's about knowing your own worth without needing to prove it. Space and healthy distance are essential for any successful relationship, but an insecure man struggles with this concept. Instead of appreciating time apart, he smothers his partner with constant communication and neediness. Within minutes of saying goodbye after a date, he'll text her that he misses her. He wants to see her every day and gets visibly upset if she has other responsibilities that keep her from him. Even worse, he might guilt trip her for prioritizing work or time with friends over spending every moment together. At first, this obsessive attention might seem flattering, but it quickly becomes overwhelming. A relationship should feel like a partnership, not a prison, and constant demands on her time can make her feel trapped. Women count this behavior as a red flag and get irritated by such actions. So, as men, if you find yourself constantly needing to be in her presence or communicating with her, take a step back and ask yourself, why? Building trust and independence in a relationship not only creates balance, but also fosters a stronger, healthier connection. An insecure man has an obsessive need to be in control, and one way he shows it is by demanding to know every detail of a woman's life. He insists on knowing how she spends her time, where she goes, and who she talks to, often asking the same questions repeatedly, as if he's trying to catch her in a lie. If she forgets to mention something or chooses not to share a minor detail, he becomes angry or accuses her of hiding things. Worse yet, he'll pressure her to talk about things she isn't comfortable sharing, disregarding her right to privacy. While it's natural for partners to share parts of their lives, it's also normal and healthy for each person to have their own boundaries. If a man disrespects a woman's privacy, it's a clear sign to run the other way. An insecure man often engages in pathological snooping, checking her phone, social media accounts, or even her credit card history to look for signs of something he perceives as wrong. He becomes visibly restless when she uses her phone around him, sneaking glances over her shoulder or casually, or not so casually, asking who she's texting. Sometimes, he outright demands to see her phone, convinced that she's hiding something, even if she's just replying to work emails or texting a friend about dinner plans. This constant suspicion creates an environment of distrust and suffocation. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual respect and the understanding that privacy is not a threat, it's a basic right. An insecure man sees a delayed text reply or an unanswered call as a personal insult. He fails to recognize that his partner has a life outside of their relationship, other responsibilities, work commitments, and personal time. Instead of understanding that a woman might simply be busy, he gets upset, demanding an explanation for why she hasn't responded immediately. This behavior often turns into arguments over something as trivial as a late reply, showing his neediness and lack of trust. It's not about the message. It's about the control he's trying to maintain over her time and attention. If you're dating a man who gets upset over these minor things, it's a clear sign of insecurity. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding that both partners have their own lives. A confident man isn't threatened by life outside the relationship. He embraces it, knowing that a strong bond is built on trust, not constant communication. Do you recognize any of these behaviors in your relationships? Or maybe you've experienced them firsthand? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn how to make women feel sexually attracted to you, click on the link in the description and check out masterattraction.com.